Today, Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar will give lecture on the operational control in the strategic management. And in this topic, this comes under the syllabus of the strategic managements. He will explain the difference between the strategic control and operational control, setting of the standards, measurement of the performance, how the performance is measured, identifying the deviations, taking the corrective actions, reformulating strategy, plan, and objective, techniques of the strategic control. What are the techniques of the strategic control? These will discuss today by the Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar. Operational control provides post-active regulation and control over short periods. They involve systematic evaluation of the performance against predetermined objective. The major difference between the strategic control and operational control are summarized in the table here. Attribute is the basic question. Strategic control. Are we moving in the right direction? Operational control. How are we performing? And proactive continuous questioning of the basic direction of the strategy. Allocation and use of the organizational resources. Main concern, steering the organization's future direction and the action control. Number 4, focus, external environment, internal organization, time horizon. Strategy control is for the long term. Operational control is for the short term. Exercise of the control, exclusively by the top management, may be thorough lower end support. Strategy control is exclusively by the top management. Operational control mainly by the executives of the middle level management on the direction of the top management. Main techniques: environmental scanning, information gathering, questioning, and the reviewing. This is the main technique of the strategic control. Budgets, schedules, and MBO for the operational control. Budget, schedules, and MBO for the operational control. To be effective, operational control system involve 4 steps common to all post-action control. Set standards of the performance, measure actual performance, identify deviation from the standard set, identify the corrective action. Setting of the standard of the performance, measuring of the actual performance, identifying the deviation from the standard set, and initiate corrective action. Setting of the standard. The first step in the control process is the setting of the standards. Standards are the targets against which the actual performance will be measured. They are broadly classified into quantitative standards and the qualitative standards. Quantitative standard, they are expressed in physical or monetary terms in respect of the production, marketing, finance, etc. They may relate to the time standards, cost standards, productive standards, and the revenue standard. These are the setting of the standards, setting of the time standard, setting of the cost standard, setting of the productive standard, setting of the revenue standard. Setting of the physical or monetary terms in respect of the production, marketing, finance, etc. Qualitative criteria are also important in the setting standard. Human factors such as high absenteeism and turnover rates, poor production quality, or lower employee satisfaction can be the underlying causes of the declining performance. Quality criteria are also important in setting a standard. Human factors such as high absenteeism and turnover rates, poor production quality, or low employee satisfaction can be the underlying causes of the declining information. So quality standards also need to be established to measure the performance. Measurement of the performance. The second step in the operational control is the measurement of the actual performance. Here, the actual performance is measured against the standard fixed. Standard of performance act as the benchmark against which the actual performance is to be compared. It is important, however, to understand how the measurement of the performance actually takes place. Operationally, measuring is done through the accounting, reporting, and communication system. A variety of the evaluation techniques are used for this purpose, which are explained in the next section. The other important aspects of the measurement relate to the difficulty in the measurement. There are several activities for which it is difficult to set standards and measure performance. Performance of a worker in terms of the unit produced in a day, week, or month can be easily measured. Performance of a worker in terms of the unit produced in a day, week, or month can be easily measured. On the other hand, it is not easy to measure the contribution of a manager or to assess departmental performance. The solution lies in developing the variable objective stated in quantitative and the qualitative terms against which performance can be measured. Timing of the measurement. Timing refers to the point of time at which the measurement should take place. Delay in measurement or measuring over before time can defeat the very purpose of the measurement. So measurement should take place at the critical points in a task schedule, which could be at the end of the definable activity or the conclusion of a task. Example, in a project implementation schedule, there should be several critical points at which the measurement would take place. Periodicity in the measurement. Another important issue in measurement is how to often to measure. Generally, financial statement like budget, balance sheet, and profit and loss accounts are prepared every year. But there are certain reports like the production report, sales report, etc., which are done on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Identifying the division. The third step in the control process is the identifying the deviation, the measurement of the actual performance and its comparison with the standard of the performance determines the degree of the deviation or variation between the actual performance and the standard. Broadly, the following three situations may arise. The actual performance matches the standard. The actual performance exceeds the standard. The actual performance falls short of the standards. The first situation is ideal, but sometimes may not be realistic. Generally, a range of the tolerance limit within which the results may be accepted satisfactorily or fixed deviation from it are considered as variance. The second situation is an indication of the superior performance. If exceeding the standard is considered unusual, a check needs to be made to test the validity of test and the measurement system. The third type of the situation which indicates shortfall in the performance should be taken seriously and strategy need to be pinpoint the area where the performance is below standard and go into the causes of the deviation. The analysis of variation is generally presented in a format called the variance chart and submitted to the top management for their evaluation. After noting the deviation, it is necessary to find the causes of the deviation, which can be ascertained through the following questions. Is the cause of deviation internal or external? Is the cause random or expected? Is the deviation temporary or the permanent? Analysis of variation leads to a plan for the corrective action. Taking of the corrective action. The last and final step in the operational control process is the taking of the corrective action. Corrective action is initiated by the management to rectify the shortfall in the performance. If the performance is constantly low, the strategy have to be do an in-depth analysis and diagnosis to isolate the factor responsible for such low performance and take appropriate corrective action. There are three courses for corrective action: checking performance, checking standards, formulating strategy, plans, and objectives. Checking performance. Performance can be affected adversely by a number of factors such as inadequate resource allocation, ineffective structure or system, faulty programs, policy, motivational schemes, inefficient leadership style, etc. Corrective action may be therefore include the change in the strategy. System, structure, compensation practices, training program, redesign of the jobs, replacement of the personnel, re-establishment of standards, budgets. This is the checking of the performance. Checking of the performance is important. Performance can be affected adversely by a number of factors such as inadequate resource allocation, ineffective structure or system, faulty program, policies, motivational schemes, inefficient leadership style. Corrective action may be therefore include the change in the strategy, system, structure, compensation practices, training program, redesign of the job, replacement of the personnel, re-establishment of the standards, budget, etc. Checking standards. When there is nothing significantly wrong with performance, then the strategy has to check the standard. A manager should not mind revising the standard when the standard set are unreasonably low or high. Higher standard bear discontentment and the frustration. Low standard make employee unproductive, so standard check may result in lowering of the standard if it is concluded that the organizational capability do not match the performance requirement. It may also lead to the elevation of the standard if the condition have improved to allow better performance. For example, better equipment, improved system, upgraded skills, etc. need modification in existing standard. There is the need of the checking of the standards. Reformulating strategy, plans, and objective. A more radical and infrequent corrective action is to reformulate strategy, plan, and objective. Strategy control rather than operation control generally leads to the changes in the strategic direction, which will take the strategy back to the process of the strategy formulation and the choice. Techniques like the total quality management and ISO 9000 standard series are examples of the very good control mechanism. These are explained in Exhibit 14.3. TQM is a management philosophy that aims at total customer satisfaction through the continuous improvement of the all organizational process. The main elements of the TQM are intense focus on the customer. The customer include not only the outsider, but also the internal customer. Concern for the continuous improvement. TQM is committed to improve quality continuously. Improve in the quality of everything the organization does. TQM relates not only to the final product, but also how the organization handles delivery, respond to the company, etc. Accurate measurement. TQM uses statistical technique to measure every critical performance viable in the organization operation. These performance variables are then compared against the standards or benchmark to identify the problem. The problems are traced to their roots and causes are eliminated. Empowerment of the employee. TQM involves all the employee in the improvement process. Teams are widely used in the TQM programs as the empowerment vehicles for finding and solving the problem. Techniques of the strategy control. Organizations use many techniques or the mechanism of the strategy control. Some of the important mechanisms are the management information system, benchmarking, and the balance scorecard. Appropriate information system act as an effective control system. Management will come to know the latest performance in the key areas and take appropriate corrective action. Benchmarking. It is a comparative method where a firm finds the best practices in an area, then attempt to bring in its own performance in that area, in line with the best practices. Best practices are the benchmark that should be adopted by a firm as the standards to exercise operational control. Through this method, performance can be evaluated continuously till it reaches the best practice level. In order to excel, a firm shall have to exceed the benchmark. In this manner, benchmarking offers firm a tangible method to evaluate the performance. Balance scorecard. It is a method based on the identification of the few key performance measures: customer perspective, internal business perspective, innovation and learning perspective, and the financial perspective. This method is a balanced approach to performance measurement as a range of the financial and non-financial parameter and taken into account for the evaluation. This is the techniques for the strategic control, and the main elements of the TQN is also summarized here. Reformulating is a strategy, plan and objective, checking of the standards, checking of the performance, taking of the corrective action, identifying deviation, periodicity in the measurement, timing of the measurement, difficulty in measurement, and measurement of the performance. Measurement of the performance is the necessary. Setting of the standard, quantitative standard and the qualitative standard. Setting of the standards, quantitative standard and the qualitative standard. Difference between the strategic control and the operational control have been given there. Operational control provides post-action evaluation and control over the short period. This we have studied about the operational control in the strategic management. Operational control in the strategic management.